The first step to feeling ridiculously rich today: stop comparing up. Have you noticed a trend with some of the most popular drama shows these days? Interestingly, many of them center around the powerful and the rich. Succession, Billions, White Lotus, Landman. All very different shows and all entertaining in their own way. However, when you watch enough of these shows and for long enough, it does something to us without us even realizing. It creates a baseline for what a successful life is supposed to look like. A picture of what having arrived looks like. Then it takes it a step further. It makes us compare our ordinary, boring life to the extraordinary that we see on the screen. And that comparison, if we constantly think about it, what do you think will do to our minds? It will make us miserable because most of us will never be able to live that billion-dollar lifestyle. But here's what I actually want you to understand. The problem really isn't the show. You should be able to watch whatever you want. The problem is the activity of comparing, and more specifically, the direction we compare in. We almost always compare up against people with more money, more house, more of whatever we decided to signal success. And when that's your default setting, when up is always the direction your brain looks, you'll never ever feel like you have enough, no matter what the number in your account actually says. There's a very interesting study from the 1970s that hammers this point home. Researchers asked people a simple question. Would you rather earn $50,000 a year while everyone around you earns $25,000, or earn $100,000 a year while everyone else around you earns $200,000? Now, rationally, the answer is obvious. $100,000 is twice as much money. You can buy more of everything. Your family is better fed, better housed, and better provided for. But the vast majority of people chose the first option. They would rather earn less, objectively less, as long as they earn more than the people around them. Fascinating, right? And today, apart from these very addicting shows, social media has also made this even worse. What used to be a comparison against your actual neighbors, the people physically around you, is now a comparison against the world. A curated highlight reel of everyone's best moments. The fancy vacation photos, the renovation reveals, the business milestones. Nobody posts the ordinary boring Tuesday where there's nothing going on. The bottom line is this, that our sense of wealth is almost entirely relative. It is not a number, it is a comparison. And if you're always comparing up, no number will ever be high enough. So what is the antidote? How can we turn the tide here from feeling poor to feeling rich today? Be deliberate about who you compare yourself against. My personal favorite strategy? Instead of comparing ourselves against against other people, especially those that seem to have more, compare against within. Against where you were 5 years ago, or better yet, 10 years ago. Because the chances are, you're far ahead than your past self, and that automatically will make you appreciate how ridiculously rich you are today. The problem with comparison is that there will always be someone with more. Always. The second step to feeling ridiculously rich today. Know where you actually stand today. I know, I'm going to contradict myself here because I said we should not compare ourselves against other people. But once in a while, I think it is good to compare, not for envy or gloat, but for broader context. There's a free tool from Giving What We Can called How Rich Am I Calculator. What you can do with this tool is get your exact global percentile based on where you live, your household size, and your income. Essentially, as the name of this calculator states, how rich are you relative to the rest of the world? Let's try out some numbers. Today, the average American household earns around $84,000 a year. Now, on the surface, that number might not feel particularly impressive. It might even feel modest depending on where you live. But plug it into the How Rich Am I calculator and something interesting happens. That $84,000 household income, assuming a household of 2 adults and 2 children, places you among the top 12% richest people on the entire planet. Top 12% out of 8 billion people. Now, what happens if we move up the ladder to a higher income? Let's say a household earning $150,000. Not uncommon in a household where both adults are working. Now you're among the 5% richest. Up to $300,000? This means you have a relatively high income occupation. Now among the 0.6% richest. That is right, less than 1% globally. Now understand, we're not talking about billionaire numbers. These are not succession numbers. These are actual incomes that millions of ordinary American households earn every single year. Yet, with these ordinary numbers, you are, by any honest global measure, ridiculously rich. Now, I want you to understand, I'm not showing you this tool and these numbers to make you feel guilty, or the other way, to make you feel smug or superior about where you stand. No, I'm showing you this so you can have an objective understanding of your own reality. Because the truth is that today, If you have a roof over your head, food in your stomach, and access to clean water, you're literally living the dream. Not only are many people in the world struggling with these basic needs, throughout history, most people on this earth lived and died without ever being certain of any of these things. And I'm not just talking about the poor, I'm talking about everyone, including kings, emperors, and pharaohs included. The bottom line is this: if you're watching this video right now, on whatever device you're watching it on, in whatever room you're sitting in, you have already won the lottery. The question is not whether you're rich. By any honest measure, you almost certainly are. The question is whether you're actually letting yourself feel it. A quick pause before we continue. Everything we're covering today, the steps, the tools, the research behind it, I've put it all into a free PDF guide so you actually have something tangible to take away. Grab it at the link in the description below. It is completely free to download. And if you're the kind of person who wants to go beyond watching videos and actually build wealth with intention, the Financial Tortoise community might exactly be what you're looking for. It is a private membership community which includes full course library, live Q&As, and direct access to me via one-on-one. However, enrollment is limited and only opens a few times a year. So if you want to be the first to be notified when it opens again, please join the waitlist at financialtortoise.com/community. Alright, with that, let's keep going. The third step to feeling ridiculously rich today: own your time. Alright, so far we talked mostly about context. Context against the wealthy, context against everyone else, today and throughout history. Those are all nice information and all, but let's be honest. Knowing you're in the global top 12% doesn't make your mortgage feel smaller. It doesn't make your commute shorter. It doesn't change how the day feels. So let's talk about something that actually does. Something that the wealthiest people in the world, not the fictional ones on television, but real ones, consistently point to as the thing that actually makes them feel rich. Time. Specifically, who owns it? Ask someone what it would feel like to be truly rich. Not comfortable, not financially secure, but genuinely rich. And they will almost never describe a number. They'll describe an uninterrupted morning, taking long lunch without being rushed, being present for all their kids' school events without feeling like they have to be somewhere else. What they're describing is this: sovereignty over time, the ultimate feeling of wealth. This is why someone with a high income, really good income, if he or she does not have control over their time, does not feel rich. Why? Because time is the actual currency of a rich life. Money is just a tool used to buy it back. And if you're earning well, but your hours are still owned by someone else, your employer, your clients, your obligations, then all you have done is trade one form of scarcity for another. In 2007, Arianna Huffington, co-founder and editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post, was at the top of her professional career, overseeing one of the most influential media companies in the world and constantly being requested for speaking engagements and interviews. By every conventional measure, she had made it. Money, power, recognition. She had all of it. Then in April of that year, she collapsed from exhaustion, broke her cheekbone, and woke up in a pool of blood. Lying there, she asked herself one question: is this really what success feels like? She wrote about it in her book Thrive, and the answer she arrived at was quite simple. She had been rich in every way except the one that actually mattered. She didn't have any time that belonged to her. It's quite ironic if you think about it. Arianna had built one of the most valuable media companies in the world. She had the income, the influence, the recognition, and yet she was miserable. Because none of that success had translated into one thing that actually makes life feel rich: control over your own hours. So if you want to be not just financially rich, but actually feel rich, how to work to own more of your time today? Start by asking yourself one honest question: who owns the majority of your hours right now? If the answer is your employer, your clients, or your obligations and not you, then no income will ever make you feel rich. From there, the work is twofold. 1, keep your fixed expenses low enough that you have real options. And 2, use the remaining money deliberately to buy back the hours that matter most to you. Time is a coin of your life. You spend it. Do not allow others to spend it for you. The fourth step to feeling ridiculously rich today: spend on what lasts. Money at the end of the day buys things. As mentioned earlier, it can buy time, or it can buy things, or even services. We work hard to make money because it allows us to trade it for these things. However, the things that we get in return are not all created equal. Some purchases make us feel rich for a day, maybe a week, and then it quietly disappears into the background. Others keep paying returns for years, sometimes for the rest of our lives. And the difference between the two is not the price tag. It is the category. Most people are systematically spending on the things that deliver the least lasting return and systematically underspending on the things that deliver the most. This was the finding that Elizabeth Dunn, a behavioral economist at the University of British Columbia, who spent her career studying exactly this topic, What spending makes people happy arrived at. The importance of the category of spending, especially if we want to feel rich. According to our study, material purchases provided the least amount of long-term satisfaction. Why? Because we adapt so quickly. The new television, the new couch, the upgraded kitchen. Within weeks, they become invisible. However, experiences, they keep paying returns long after the initial purchase because they're fundamentally different from physical things. Because experiences live in our memories rather than on a shelf, they tend to improve with time. The dinner at that fancy restaurant becomes a memory that gets better every time you tell it. The dance class you took together becomes an inside joke you still laugh about years later. The family trip to the countryside of England becomes a chapter in your family story that nobody ever forgets. And that trip to the countryside of England was actually a chapter in our family story that we invested in a couple years ago. When we first started out in our world travel as a family, one of the first places we decided to spend some time in was in Cotswold, England. If you have never been to Cotswold, picture this. Rolling green hills, picturesque English villages, narrow roads lined with hedgerows. The first time I visited many years ago, I felt like I stepped inside a storybook. And since then, I always dreamt about coming back and staying longer, ideally with my family. And that was exactly what we did. We rented a small cottage in the middle of the countryside and did almost nothing except drink tea, indulge in what the English would say, scones, and pontificate about life. Exactly the way I imagine Lord Grantham from Downton Abbey would have done. But of course, without the estate, the title, or anyone calling me my lord. But regardless, that trip is still very much alive in our family today. My kids still talk about it, my wife and I still talk about it. The stone cottage, the morning walks through the fog, and that memory makes us feel ridiculously rich. The fifth and the final step to feeling ridiculously rich today, give. Giving, in my humble opinion, is the ultimate hack to feeling ridiculously rich. Why? Because when we give, it does something to our brains that runs completely counter to how most of us think about money. Most of us operate under the assumption that giving makes us poor. Mathematically, that is true. $1 given away is $1 gone. But psychologically, and this is where it gets interesting, the opposite happens. Michael Norton at Harvard Business School ran a study. He gave participants money to spend and tracked their happiness carefully. Some spent it on themselves, others gave it away. The people who gave it away reported feeling not just happier, but wealthier. His explanation was this. When you give money away, even a small amount, you send a signal to your own psychology. I have enough to give some away. And that signal does something to the brain. It functions as an internal proof of sufficiency. Essentially, it makes us really internalize we have enough. And Norton extended this finding to time. People who volunteer, who give their hours to help others, report feeling like they have more time than people who don't volunteer. The psychology here is the same. The act of giving is itself evidence of abundance. And I know this from my own personal experience. Having participated in my fair share of volunteer activities in my life, I have never felt so rich as in those moments of giving. Volunteering as a soccer coach, showing up every week to remind the boys that someone believed in them, even if we ended the season with 9 losses and 1 tie. Mentoring inner city kids, driving them to college campuses so they could see with their own eyes what was really possible if they put their minds to it. Traveling to Central America to help drill water wells, recognizing that clean water is not a given, but a privilege. None of those experiences put money in my pocket. Most actually took money out. However, every single one of them left me feeling more abundant than almost anything I have ever purchased. Because in each one of those moments, I was reminded of the same thing, that I have enough to give something away. And that is the truest, most pure form of feeling rich that I have ever found. So if you want to feel rich today, start with giving. It doesn't have to be money if that is tight. It can be with your time, or your skills, or simply your presence. We all have something we can give. No one has ever become poor by giving. Thank you guys for watching the theme of giving. If you want to learn more about one of my favorite giving vehicles, the Donor Advice Fund, please check out my video here. Until next time, all the best.